What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today we're going over a very special duel. It's going to be a Tearlament mirror match. We're going back in formats, baby. It's going to be a couple formats ago, back when tier was tier 0. Just kidding. It's going to be current day Tearlament playing back to back. Will we see a Haveness being changed is the question. Both players playing the Cashier cards as well, having a Fenrir in your deck. We are going to be seeing the player on the right side started off with a Terraform, searching for the planet, which allows them to search for any tier monster. We are going to be seeing that resolve here. Not likely we have any interactions on the opponent's side there, on the left side of the tier player. We're going to be seeing a search of a Sharon. This is going to be one of the better tier monsters. They only have about 4 of them, but this can be able to discard a card, which we have other cards in their hand which can discard to get other effects. So we're going to see them activating the effect, discarding what it looks like to be a Horus monster. So this is going to be Horus tier. We do have a Scream going to activate as well, so we're going to be able to mill 6 cards here. And we do, or I guess I should say 7 cards. We do end up hitting a Rhino Heart as well as a Haveness and 2 of the traps and a Scream as well. So, but both players are very good. I believe that Ethan on the right side here ended up topping Nats that year, which is pretty huge for him. So big shout outs to that, as well as Thomas ended up doing quite good with tier at a few regionals. We're going to be seeing them early being searched out there, as well as the Scream and Haveness, as well as the Rhino Heart, going to be activated all now in the same chain. We're going to be summoning out the Rhino Heart by dumping the Merly, and we then get to search off Scream, and then Haveness will be able to resolve. We're going to see a search for a Meta Noise. Haveness will then be able to put back, and I'm not exactly sure. We're going to put back the Merly there so we can redump it off of the Rhino Heart. After all, we just see the third, so there's like a Rhino Heart maybe in the hand being put back, so we can make out a copy of the big one there, not the Kaleido Heart. Yeah, it is Kaleido Heart. So we're going to be seeing Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, and Chain Link 3. We're going to be destroying the Kaleido Heart, dumping the tier cache. And then we're going to be seeing Tier Cache can activate the effects. And we do hit a Mothman as well as a Scream. And we do opt to now dump the Haveness there. Or it should be Merly, right? Yeah, okay, we're dumping the Merly. We know what we're doing. There's no interaction there. We're going to be dumping those. The correct one here. Then we're going to be activating the effect, dumping the Shadal Beast, so we must have hit a Hallow somewhere. They're only making a Winda. Yeah, because we did hit the... and then we're going to go up now into the Redoer, which can then take the opponent's card as well as get the effect of the Sharon during the opponent's turn, which can also then trigger the Kaleido Heart, as well as the field spell here. But we are going to be seeing a Horus Imsteady getting activated, sending a Shuffler. So that's going to be able to stop here the Shine from activating its effects. But we do have a big copy of Winda on the field. But yeah, so now we're going to be able to search for the Horus spell, which can end up being quite problematic against any deck, obviously. Being able to bring back consistently the Horus monsters, which are big bodies, able to send cards, being able to prevent destruction and stuff like that. Very, very powerful. We're going to be seeing King's Arc going to be activated here. And do we have any way to interact with this to make sure it does not stick, or else the Imsteady will be able to summon itself out, which we are going to be seeing right away. We're now going to be seeing the effect of the King's Arc and activating, sending the Tribute Karma to the graveyard, which will give us access to dump another of the Horus monsters, but also giving us the ability to banish the Tribute Karma to search for any Visa or Tearlament's card here in this case. We're going to be seeing Tier Cache getting activated, or not Tier Cache, we're going to be seeing the King's Arc getting activated once again, sending the other Shuffler to the graveyard. So opening up double Shuffler here, now obviously getting a draw with the Imsteady, and then being able to summon out multiple cards as well is going to be nice. And of course, in this matchup, the Shufflers are just going to be insane, being able to shuffle back the correct target so they never get to kind of resolve the fusion summons. But unfortunately for us, we do have multiple fusion summons already on the field, so it's not going to be as beneficial if it was not like for going first card here. We're going to be seeing the Tier Planet going to be activated here, letting us search, and I believe they searched for a copy of Haveness. We are going to be seeing the battle phase, trying to hit over the window. We are going to be going meta noise on the attack declaration, sending the Havness to the graveyard, flipping the Horus face down, which means the King Sark will not be able to send that window to the graveyard, allowing us to kind of continue our turn here. Now we are going to opt to choose to activate the Havness effect as well as the Kaleido Heart. Now clearly we're going to be shuffling back. We have to vanish to shuffle back. Like there's no reason not to here. We're going to be seeing the shuffle back of the King Sark going to be making it so that now we have no way of getting more of the I was going to say the unsteady, but the Horus monsters on the field here. We are going to be making also the Muddy Dragon there. We're going to be milling 3 cards off the screen, and we're going to be popping the field spell there. We're going to be seeing the player on the left actually just admit defeat right away, realizing they cannot beat this copy of Winda, especially without the Horus card. You know, King Sark being able to send the Winda to the graveyard, essentially allowing us to continue by getting through its non-way of destruction, is definitely huge. But when it's gone and the Unsteady is flipped face down, it's essentially going to be just game over, essentially when they can just get game next turn by keeping the Winda on the field as well. It's pretty brutal. But we are going to be moving on to game 2 where they're going to be able to go first. And like their opening hand going first would have been pretty crazy if they would have had, like, I guess, I don't know what the 6th card was, so it could have just done absolutely nothing unless the 6th card was maybe another one of the shufflers. But having both shufflers in hand going first would have been absolutely crazy. We can get both from the graveyard, getting the Unsteady summon back out. You know, they had the field spell as well. You know, it would have been a really good hand for them. But going second, not so much, especially when a Winda is being placed on the board. But moving back on in, we are going to be seeing now some side deck cards potentially put back in. Now, no Shifter is going to be dropped this duel. I promise you that. But moving on into game number 2, we're going to see the player on the left is going to be starting off. And we do see a Scream in the hand. We're going to be seeing a Kashtira Fenrir being summoned out, activating the effect, which is going to also allow us to search for a Kashtira Tealament here, which is going to be a pretty crazy card. You know, actually, honestly, the fact that Fenrir is able to kind of get us like both our engines. You know, if you do pop the Fenrir, you can summon out another Fenrir. But having the ability to also search for a tier cache is just honestly nutty as well, being like able to send 5 cards up to a turn. Then we're going to be seeing the planet going to be activating its effect, searching for the Shiren. We're going to activate Shiren effect, and they are going to impulse this, which is going to make it so that we just do not get to summon it out nor destroy a card. We're going to activate a Scream, and then we are going to activate Tier Cache, banishing the other Tier Cache there, and that's going to allow us to now dump 3, or 6 I should say, because 3 and 3. And we do hit a Shuffler as well as a Beast, alongside an Unsteady, a Scream, and a Sulig, it looks like. So we're going to be seeing multiple chain links here, drawing 1 card, and then being able to search, dump, and having a Shuffler in the graveyard, which is going to be very huge, like I mentioned earlier. You know, the first person having a Shuffler in the graveyard for the tier deck is essentially going to be in a pretty good spot. We're going to see the meta noise being searched off the Scream, alongside the trap searching for a copy of Rhinoheart. Rhinoheart will be activating the effect, allowing us to dump a copy of Merly or Havness. Dumping the Havness there, because we will have access to the Merly dump by our copy of the link to Sprint. But we are going to be seeing the Havness effect and activate, and we do chain a Magnamut to this. We are kind of forced now to activate the Medora, shuffling back the impulse and the copy there. I wonder if we should have hit like a Beast as well, making it so that we just don't have any targets in the graveyard. They do go talents here to look at their hand. We have a Magnamut, a Scream, a King Sark, alongside a tier cache of our own. So really, the King Sark is probably the play here. You know, allowing us to get the other engine and kind of just playing through. Like, Scream does nothing by itself. The Magnamut, there's no point of hitting. The tier cache, if we get rid of the Scream, or get rid of the King Sark, it's going to be kind of hard. But we do end up hitting the Magnamut there. After all, maybe they're not wanting to hit the King Sark because it's going to be multiple cards they have to discard to kind of get any advantage. We're just going to pass turn on this. Okay, that's not what I thought was going to happen here with 1 additional set. So we are going to be seeing the King Sark going to be activated there. This is most likely going to be discarding the Scream. Okay. I guess now we can search for a trap. We're dumping the Unsteady. And we know one of their cards in the hand is the Shiren there. So we're going to be seeing the Unsteady going to be summoned. And then we get to chain the Scream, dumping 3. We hit a trap card, and it looks like a Tear Cache. Now, will we choose to activate it is the question. So we're going to see Tear Cache as well as the trap going to be activated there, allowing us to mill 2 more. And search for a Rhino Heart. Once again, we hit the trap and another copy of Unsteady. Now, Fenrir does pose a bit of a threat on the board. But we still have King Stark send Tear Cache to mill 2 more additional cards, as well as being able to dump another monster, which then can get us access to either, like, the mill, whatever, the 4 zombie vampire. But we're first going to go battle phase, obviously, to beat over the things. But we're going to be seeing Tear Cache can activate its effects now, banishing the Scream, summoning itself out, activating its effects, allowing us to mill 3. We hit a Tear Cache, a planet, as well as a talent. We're going to be having 2 more chances to mill. We do hit a Full Rose as well as a trap card here. We're going to be seeing the trap card going to be activating its effects, allowing us to search our deck now. But that's not going to be really good for us. Obviously we're going to search for a Rhino Heart, but the last card in the hand is... It is the unknown card, right? Yeah. So we still have 1 unknown. I'm going to search for a copy of the Merly, which is going to mill 3 more cards on normal summon. So I guess trying to maximize our chances of normal. We're going to be normal summoning, activating the effect. We see a Tribute Karma and a Unsteady, as well as an Impulse, it looked like, hit the graveyard. Now, Tribute Karma will be able to search for the field spell, which will give us access to any of the other Tealament monsters. But this isn't really looking what we're trying to mill. We want to see some shufflers here. Or a tier monster that, lets us fusion summon as well. Could be nice. We're going to see Tribute Karma activating the effect, allowing us to search for... even Plant doesn't do too much, because we have to get, Shiren, and Shiren only really works with another discard in the hand. So, it is a little bit rough. We're going to be seeing them search for a Grief. It's going to be essentially just a E-Telly. We're going to be seeing them activate the effect. And that's going to allow us to summon out 1 and then send 1 from the field. So we can go for Shiren or a Havness. For Rhino Heart, sending the Tear Cache. And then Rhino Heart will be able to activate its own effects, letting us dump either the Havness or the Shiren now. Dumping the Havness, that's going to be able to activate the effect. And we're going to chain the Fenrir, banishing the copy of Rhino Heart, it looks like. Make it so that we just cannot get the Kaleido Heart effect at all, unless they have another Rhino in the hand. So we're going to be seeing them put back, and that's going to allow us to now summon out the Mud Dragon there. Mud Dragon is going to call Dark, and we do chain the Meta Noise, flipping the Unsteady face down the exact same way they did to us earlier by sending a copy of Havness. Now we're going to be able to fusion summon here, and we do have the potential to go for a Winda as well, because we have that beast in the graveyard. But yeah, having the Horse monster flip face down is going to be extremely hard for us to kind of get those send effects off of the Horse spell there. So we're going to chain the Impulse on the trap there, on the effective fusion summon. And that's going to be all good now, allowing us to link away for a Dark. Dark can take the Beast or whatever else we want. If we have an Unsteady, we can take that. We're taking the Unsteady here, which now reactivates that spell for us, so we can send a card to the graveyard as well. So we're going to attack into the Fenrir, sending the Fenrir. And then we're actually just going to scoop it up, realizing the game is going to be lost. Moving on to game 3. We're going to see Tyr go first once again on the right side. It's interesting that we did see those impulses in the deck on the right side. Now, we didn't see anything in the left. Now, Impulse definitely is a card that you can play, of course. You don't have any light, earth, or wind monsters other than the Cashier Offender in the left side. We haven't seen one on the right side at all yet. Now, I know that he did play it before, but maybe they wanted to replace it for Dominant Impulse, which is going to be a pretty good card. Period. That card's honestly just crazy. We also saw the Prelias and Furoses as well in the right side there. So I wonder if maybe they're playing a little bit of those hand traps in the side deck, siding them in when it is pretty useful. But yeah, moving on to game 3 now, we are going to be seeing lots of side deck cards being taken in and out. Now, they do play multiple traps in the deck. So, maybe cutting down on the Meta Noise, cutting down on the Solix and stuff like that, and putting in some of those hand traps or board breaker cards when you are going second. A tier always had the ability to take out a bunch of different cards because the consistency is just milling the cards, as well as being close to time. We're most likely going to be seeing cards like Scattershot being sided in if you do get to mill. You might even take out some of the Shadal monsters when you're not going first. You don't need to make a window or be able to send an additional card to the graveyard, letting us kind of just thin our deck. So we are going to be seeing a lot of cards being shuffled in and out of the decks there for your siding pattern. So siding into a lot in a mirror match is not always the greatest sign. But diving on to game 3, we are going to be seeing the player on the right go first. And the first play is going to be a Foolish Burial Goods here. Going to be sending a trap to the graveyard. We're going to be seeing the Tribute Karma being sent, which can allow us access to any of these cards. We're going to be activating the Tribute Karma right away. And what do we opt to search for? I feel like it's going to be Scream or the Planet there, but we do have about 8 minutes left. We're going to be seeing the Grief going to be activated here. Okay, searching for the Grief is going to be interesting. So maybe we don't have any of the tier monsters in the hand, so we have to summon one out, then send it. So we're going to send the Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart will then activate the effect, allowing us to summon itself out. Activating the effect, discarding the Trap card, which can allow us to search for another tier monster there. We're going to be seeing Rhino Heart, Chainlink 1, the Trap, Chainlink 2, letting us search for a monster, and then dumping a monster here. So I'm going to search for a Shiren, and then dump a copy of the tier cache, allowing us to mill 2 more other cards. So maybe the hand not being the strongest, but still being able to play. We're going to see tier cache being milled in a Scream. Now, Scream is going to allow us to search for another trap, but having the mill tier cache is not what we're looking for. So we're going to be seeing a Crime, which is the Omni Negate. You definitely side that in going first there. A pretty good target. We're going to see the tier cache getting activated, so now all 3 tier caches have been hit. Hitting that Scream, which is now going to allow us to mill, and we do hit an Unsteady, Druid Worm, and it looks like a Planet. So nothing here other than just deck thinning at this point. And we know we have Trap, Shiren in the hand, and then 2 other unknowns. So we're seeing a normal summon of a Shiren going up now into the Redoer. Then setting 2 additional cards and just passing turn on this. Not looking like the best board after all. We're going to be seeing the Redoer activate the effect in the standby phase. We chain a copy of the Havness there, and we hit a Sulik, a King, as well as a Droplets. The Trap would have been the top card that we ended up hitting, but we ended up hitting a spell instead. Now we're going to be seeing the Trap end up searching for a Rhino Heart of their own. We will get a draw card off the Rhino, as well as sending the cards to the graveyard, which is going to be pretty nice. We're going to be seeing Tier Cache to now be activated, which is going to try to banish the Trap. That's going to now allow us to mill 3 more cards here. We see a Tier Cache hit a Shuffler and another of the Horus cards, and we do hit a Lurie as well as another Trap, or the same Trap there, so we aren't going to be able to mill anymore. But having a Shuffler in the graveyard is going to be pretty important, especially when we can chain Redoer there, chain the Trap, making so that the copy of the Shiren does not get to resolve there. So having an immediate answer to the Shiren. We are going to be seeing the Unsteady activating, sending the Rhino to search for the Kingstark here. That's going to be pretty good, especially in the Rhino in the graveyard, which is now going to try to activate, I believe. So we see Kingstark going to be searched, and then we are going to be drawing an additional card. King Strike will be activated. We have 2 of the horse monsters in the graveyard here. So we can summon them out immediately. But we are going to chain the Reader to this, which will allow us to draw a card. And then we're going to be seeing the effect of both of the monsters here. Going to activate the Rhino Heart alongside the Shiren. And do we chain the Shuffler to put them back is the question. They're going to be seeing the Meta Noise attempting to set their the card. Now, well, this, we're going to chain the Shuffler for sure. Yeah, you have to chain the Shuffler. But we're going to be putting back. And then we're going to be flipping the Tier Cache face down. And then we get to send 1 from our deck to the graveyard here, okay? Sending a Havness, which can then activate its effects, allowing us to fusion summon. And then we go for a Mud Dragon. Okay. Now we're going to go for the shuffle back of the spell card there by sending to the graveyard, which can then activate the effects, allowing us to now fusion summon, which we're going to be using the Shiren alongside the Steady to go up into a Mud Dragon. We're then going to activate the effect of Talents to take the Mud Dragon of their own, and we can double overlay Mud Dragon into a copy of Bahamut Shark here. That is crazy. Allowing us to activate the effect and going up into the Totally Awesome. We're going to then link away for a Moon, which can then go into the Requiem. But we're going to first normal summon out the Rhino Heart, activating the effect, allowing us to dump the Merly. Merly will then be able to put back out, summoning out a Kaleido Heart here, and that's going to be shuffling back out their monster here. We're going to go Battle Phase, and that's just going to be enough for a game. And we see the player on the left end up taking it, going second against Tier. The opening hand was not the greatest, but still pretty crazy. Also was a Thrust that was set face down there. But yeah, opening up 2 traps, a Foolish Burial Goods, and a Tier Cache, and a Thrust is not going to be the greatest against Tier. But regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to see more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.